Today, let's go over an update for Star Wars Episode 9. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Episode 9 is the final film in the sequel trilogy that will begin filming at the very end of July. Principal photography will begin in or around that time. JJ Abrams will be directing, and Chris Terrio helped out with the script. In fact, at the very end of this month of May, all of the actors and actresses that are a part of this film will begin training for their roles before they begin filming in late July leading into August. That, of course, includes Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, you name it. Now, looking at Episode 9, these, past 3 weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie, all thanks to that hashtag show and more. We've been learning about multiple characters, we've been learning about different formats that they will be using in this movie. Now, I want to go over one new detail that we did learn about Star Wars Episode 9. You guys may have heard last week that not only will this film actually have new characters, but it will have the most characters in a single Star Wars movie to date as of that point in time in 2019. Now, today we actually learned a little bit more about all of this, is that Star Wars Episode 9 will not only have the most characters in the Star Wars movie, but the most planets that will be explored in a Star Wars film. Now, do you guys view that as a good or a bad thing? Do you think that this movie having the most planets in a Star Wars movie to date, could that be a bit too much? Could this be a good or bad thing in the final film of the sequel trilogy? Let me know what you think about that. Now, looking at Episode 9, we have heard all of these different rumors and leaks suggesting that we are indeed going over to the unknown regions and we'll be exploring multiple planets. Now, looking at all of the locations that Disney and Lucasfilm have been scouting for, it really does add up to what we learned about Episode 9, that this film will have the most planets in a Star Wars movie. They honestly have been scouting around the world, to like dozens of places, almost uncountable here. They've been over to multiple spots in Spain, Peru, here in the States, even over in, I believe it was even Mexico. There's so many different spots that they have explored for possible locations for principal photography for Star Wars Episode 9, that in itself does add up to the fact that they will be having the most planets in this movie. So looking at Star Wars as a whole, when it comes to Episode 9, we do know that JJ Abrams will be taking on a big task, right? To wrap up the entire Skywalker saga, to essentially wrap all 9 movies together in one, and he's also stated before in the past that he will be including tons of prequel trilogy content, or continuity, if you will. And that's honestly a really great thing in my opinion, and that could honestly, be translated to almost anything. Maybe we could honestly have an Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost in the form of Hayden Christensen, or maybe they will do something with Obi-Wan Kenobi's Force Ghost. I do find it a little odd that JJ added in Kenobi's voice speaking to Rey, and then in The Last Jedi we saw nothing. Rian Johnson completely disregarded that whole entire concept. I don't believe that both Ewan McGregor's voice and Sir Alec Guinness's voice was thrown in there for no reason at all. I think that everything will come full circle with Obi-Wan at the very end of Episode 9, and why we heard his voice speaking of Rey or talking to Rey directly throughout that Force Back Vision sequence. There's a lot of little details in The Force Awakens by JJ Abrams that you will notice that didn't make it or didn't expand off of The Force Awakens in The Last Jedi. So looking at Star Wars Episode 9 and the fact that it will have the most planets, honestly to me, I don't really view it as a bad thing necessarily. I just hope that everything is done smoothly, where, you're not having, all of these different planets at the same exact time with different characters, and where you can't necessarily focus on the 4 main characters smoothly, such as Kylo Ren, Rey, Poe, and Finn. So let's just cross our fingers that this movie actually turns out to be a good one. We do know that, of course, both Finn and Rey will be together in this movie for a majority of the film, since both Daisy and John Boyega will be working together heavily and will be training with each other at the very end of this month of May. As for Poe Dameron, we have no idea what's going to happen with him. We are led to assume that he's going to be the leader of the Resistance. If you guys go ahead and look at the Poe Dameron comics, where Leia is indeed in a weakened state, which hints at her demise and her fate for Star Wars Episode 9. It could very well have to do with that solar radiation after she was thrown out to space. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. And thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.